Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, for today's build, we are down in the Ash Heap. This is an area I've not actually built before, and I think people tend to avoid, really, so I thought we'd drop down here for this one. And I usually avoid the warehouse pieces as well, as I'm not really the biggest fan in the world of the textures. But, what better place to build using those than in the Ash Heap, so let's give this a go, shall we? So, we're down at we're actually towards the north end. You can see Poseidon Energy in the background there. Have a look on the map. Where the camp is, basically directly above the little picture for Mount Blair there, the excavator. Not far from the Belching Betty. We're just below the relay tower here. And basically due south of Charleston Landfill and Poseidon Energy. So, right on the cliffside here, just as it drops down very, very steeply from the back of Mount Blair, there's a nice little alcove here that I thought would be a good location for a sort of recessed build that would work with the landscape. So, grab some foundations and get cracking. So, a lot of this, the shape of this build just stems from working with the slope we're on. So you'll see what I mean in just a moment. But we're going to start at the top up here. Get a few snaps in. See, we've got a lot of uneven terrain beyond just the slope as well, so we'll start at basically the highest point and work down because it's easy to see what we've got to work with here. Get this upper level in. I'm actually going to have a level that's higher than this, but we'll touch on that when we get to it. As you can see there, we've got quite a strong case of floating going on, which is a bit of a theme with a slope this steep, but we're going to work on that. Hopefully we'll be able to mask that reasonably effectively. So we're going to drop a ramp in there. Nice easy way of putting the floor in at sort of half again the height down. Yet it works the other way if you're going up as well, but as soon as we're moving down this time. A little lower level in there. Pull that ramp out, replace it with a foundation? Foundation. What are words? There we go. Level 2 is now in place. Still we have a lot of floating going on. Yeah, I'm struggling today, aren't I? So, another ramp in, and we'll get the next layer in. We're going to go full height of the foundation below this level. We're going to use the 2 ramps. And there we go. The top of the lower level and the bottom of the upper one should now line up. A few more in just to close up that gap. There we go, when it wants to cooperate. Fortunately, I can't quite get a foundation in the back there, but apart from snap to the top. But it does hide the gap quite nicely. That should about do it. On this front edge, we're going to need a little bit of better access. So we'll extend this level out a little bit. Extend along the front here, and this is where we will eventually have our stairway. First we'll pop this ramp out. I need to build an extra one. There we go. Snap another one on. The entranceway is coming together now. Tidy up there a little bit. I'm actually going to pull this ramp out because I've decided I want the entrance at the top where this ramp was connected, but turning the corner with a ramp doesn't really work so well, so replace that with a foundation, drop a set of concrete stairs in there, which will gladly snap through the concrete foundations. Go. Nice smooth access up to all but the upper level, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. That's basically the foundations. Quite large, but it works for this build, as we'll see in a bit. So get a few walls in. Did have a fair bit of trouble with the old server lag going on here, but we got there in the end. Move on. Got the walls snapped in. Fortunately, because the stone's sticking through this foundation here, I can't unfortunately put a wall at the back there. Just have to work around that. It's fine, it creates a bit more of an interesting shape. Okay, so we've basically got everything walled off for now. A few gaps still to plug. So, get another wall in there when it wants to cooperate. Took a doorway in. More of that server lag. And for this upper level, I want it to be a kind of storage room, sort of a former supervisor's office that looks out onto the main floor. Something like that. It was a converted original building in the Ash Heap. Kind of mentality we're going for anyway. So we're going to put the windows in so you can look out. And it'll actually become our crafting and storage space in a bit. Get a few windows in on that front edge. There we go. So, get a quick look at this stairway entrance on this corner again. Basically, we're going to drop down one level and slap a staircase in. Unfortunately, as you see, we're running right up against the build area here, and if I use more ramps, it's still going to leave us with a little bit of a step up that doesn't really work, so staircase it is, and that should work. See it in a little bit more detail in a minute, just in case of popping them down like we did before. Get a few railings on. Can't quite get one in that corner, unfortunately. Off this back corner here. Front corner, I suppose, is just the entrance. So I've got this little foundation here that's just standing on its own, not really serving a great deal of purpose, but it does hide the fact that the foundation just to the left, you just see poking through the edge of the screen there, is actually floating, so it's serving a purpose there, and we use it for some decoration. Just snap that wall on as a little bit of extra texture, just break things up a little bit. But for this bit, we can't really do much with this little corner here, so I was going to close it off with the walls like this, which sort of worked, but I wasn't really happy with the look. You'd see what that top section hanging down, there's a big gap there, and all in all, I wasn't sold on that, so we'll come back to that in a moment and change it. For now, we're going to put a little bit more texture, a little bit more dressing on the front of this wall here, by the ramp. Breaks up the uniform brick texture a little bit. Yeah. Basically our front entrance and front balcony. Let's get some roofs on the main building. The corner roofs on this section. And we'll go for a slightly more interesting shape on the next bit as well. Fonda's camp signal pops in and out depending where you are standing in this particular location, which is mildly awkward, but there we go. Get some slanted roofs on the front and the back. Server wants to catch up. There we go. And a few flat roofs in the middle. I did try some of the angled ones, but they just didn't look particularly good, so that idea got cancelled. Plugs the gap here. Eventually, once the server captures up. It was a bit of a drag trying to put these roofs in and the walls as well. Mostly it was fine, but servers have not been massively cooperative of late. Just get these little gaps at the top plugged up. Put a few corner pieces in, a couple of windows. There we go. Window. Gotta pick the right one. I always seem to pick the wrong one for those triangle pieces. I don't know why. I think I'd have figured it out by now. There we go. So we've got a couple of inverted triangle gaps here that we need to plug up. So make sure you've got the wooden boards on the inside, and you know which way around it snaps, but a bit of persuasion. There we go. Neat and tidy. I wanted to make this little corner here a little bit more interesting, so we're going to pull those windows out, this bit of the wall out, and I eventually went for one of the corner roof pieces, as it just gives it a little bit more interesting of a shape, breaks up the uniform nature of everything else. And we use a couple more of those inverted wall pieces, inverted triangles. One, over onto the other one, two. There we go. Breaks up the lines a little bit, I guess. So, getting dark, we'll move on to the next day. See, I pulled that little hut that didn't really work out the corner there. I'll actually be putting a wall back in there in a second, but see, I've got the generator tucked in there, and there's another one around the back actually as well, tucked out of sight. However, I want a little awning roof type affair out front here, so we're going to need a wall to attach that to temporarily, or at least one wall anyway. So we'll stick one in here. We're going to have to pull out the fences anyway. Some of these angled roofs on. Go, come on, you want to snap really? There we go. So the last couple in there. A little bit of finagling and it goes in. There we go, basically a nice little awning over the top. Unfortunately, I can't take these back out now because the whole roof is dependent on it. But if we snap a wall in here in front of the generator, we can hide the generator and support the roof all in one go. So, what we're going to do, eventually. There we go. And now we can take these back out. However, front edge still looks a little bit on the floaty side, so we'll have to do something about that. Use the old metal pillars and so they're on the corner rather than their habit of snapping part way along. So staircase, snap some floor pieces on, follow the edge around with the roof here. Yep. Now we'll be able to snap to the middle of the floor pieces, which will put the posts under the corners. But as you can see, I've run out of steel, so BRB. There we go, nice and easy. Magic of cinema, or YouTube or something. The magic of servers as well. There we go, eventually get those in. Cooperate eventually, I promise. There we go. Put those floors back out, we have a nice supported roof. The railings back in. Nice. That is pretty much the main structure. Have a quick look around. You can see I've put a little room on the edge here with a couple of doors and some floor pieces over the top. It's basically going to be storage on the top of there. Staircases therefore. And we're going to have the toilets for our bar in that little space there. You can see I've also just extended the back of this, just put a couple of extra foundations on, dropped a staircase in there just to create a little living space out the back. It's the same principle we've used so far, but let's have a look at the decoration phase, shall we? Okay then, let's have a look at the finished product. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different here with this one and include the decoration phase in there for you. I do hope you enjoyed. Seeing as it's fairly simple build, as often the 76 builds are, I thought it'd be fun to show that little bit of the build that I don't normally include. So, taking a look around, got the sign out front just to add a little bit of texture and decoration. Little bungee boards there. Tuck the power armor station in on the front to give it a bit more of an industrial vibe, and because we need to put it somewhere. It is a player build after all. So here's our little veranda balcony area. Plenty of seating, a few little signs out front to keep that industrial feeling. And we'll head on up and have a look around the inside. So I had to nudge that jukebox over a little bit so the door didn't clip through the front edge, but it still fits quite nicely, which is good. Plenty of seating in there. Nice to use the benches for something. In hindsight, you should probably be using the wooden tables, but you know, hindsight's 2020. What can you do? Get all the necessary bits and pieces for a bar. Spirit machines, the jukeboxes, a few branding items. The bathrooms are a little bit basic, but that kind of fits with the environment, I think. Would like to have some sinks for this build. Yeah, something just to clip onto the wall in there. Give it a little hand wash base or something like that, which would be ideal. See the bar poking around there. We'll have another look on the way back down as well. So the former manager's office, foreman's office, is now a crafting and brewing space. Fortunately, we still can't put anything on shelves just yet, so we'll have to imagine there's beer bottles and beer barrels around. You can actually get beer barrels through the Xion quest line, but unfortunately I've not picked up the plan just yet. Moving up here, I've swapped out the metal walls for wooden ones, as it just makes it a little bit more homely, a little bit more warm. Bit of a cramped space, but everything the owner of the bar, person running the place, needs to feel at home. So I've got a nice little reversed stash box there, one of the metal ones, just to make it a little worktop as well. Fireplace tucked in the corner with the roof glitch through the top. So dead simple to put that little staircase and extension in. It's just snapped a couple of foundations on the side and stick the staircase in, and the foundations at the top just snap onto that, nice and easy. A couple of the new greenhouse doors there, just to keep with the metal vibe, as I haven't got the traditional ones available. Take a little swing back around the main bar. A few little bits and pieces of decoration around as well. Looking forward to getting a few more bits, so yeah, quite happy with this. Was going to do a nighttime tour as well, but it basically looks much the same. It's not much darker at night than it is in the day, so there seemed to be a lot of point for that. There we go, one Ash Heap bar. And I may do a 2.0 version of this before long, so I've got another idea for a variation that I'm a little bit excited about, to be honest. For now, do hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please do hit those buttons for it. It's always very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description if you want to catch up with me over there. And do keep an eye out for the live streams as well. We're having a lot of fun. Looking forward to the Vault raids this week as well. Should be great fun. And if you're really enjoying the content, then please do consider becoming a channel member as well. The support is hugely appreciated. You can look into that via the join button below. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.